Hi, it's August 1st, the first day of Magical Readathon, the autumn equinox semester, and I've already started reading. It's like 12:31 or something like that, and I've already started reading 4 separate books. And my kitty here. Okay. So I have started City of Orange by David Yoon. So I've made it up to part 2, and he's going through a rough time. He has amnesia, and he's like fighting to keep his amnesia because there's like he thinks his family is dead and that there's an apocalypse. I'm really not sure how much I'm supposed to believe what he thinks is true. But I have a quote that I thought was interesting from this book. How can he want anything when he doesn't even know what there is left to want? So, yeah. I don't know how he's still alive with all the things that he gets into and the accidents and the hearing voices and such, but pretty cool so far. I've read 4 of the short stories in Out There by Kate Folk. I'm enjoying it for the most part. It's women in relationships with men who aren't so great for them, but the women also don't seem very great for the men, so it's kind of a bunch of unhealthy relationships, maybe, possibly. But there's some really interesting metaphors for things, and my favorite short story so far is Heart Seeks Brain, which is a world where people are attracted to your internal organs. Yeah, so pretty out there. And I've just gotten a little bit into Legends and Lattes, but it's super cute so far. I've met the orc character, Viv, I believe. I'm terrible at remembering character names, but I believe her name is Viv, and she was a like an adventurer before, and now she's gonna open her own shop. So at the point that I'm at, has purchased a rundown building, and she's gonna turn it into a shop, coffee shop. And the last one I've started this morning was the Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi. And so this one is definitely a COVID fic, and he lost his job at the beginning, and he's just at the point I'm at now. He's just getting this job, and he knows nothing about the kaiju right now. But the character's name, don't remember it. Nope. Okay, well, when I've read more in each of these or started another book, I'll do another update. Quick update right after I turned off the camera last time. Quote from Kaiju Preservation Society: "Angrily consume your bacon on the toilet is my advice." Well, it's about 10:30 August 1st, and I've officially finished my first book for the Magical Readathon. I finished the Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi, which I know this was the last thing I talked about, that little quote. But I finished it. I will say I gave it 3 stars. It was a fun time. Let's see what else. So I think it would make a great movie if you like any Godzilla movies at all. It's very similar to those and has a lot of references to Godzilla and other you know, large monster movies. Even makes mention of Jurassic Park. So, yeah, I actually would enjoy seeing a movie made of it because it has a very diverse cast of characters, and I think that would be a fun thing to see in a movie of the Godzilla variety. Yeah, so the scientific logic is not really there, and there was a lot of misdirection of like, hey, look, here's a big science word, and of course it, you know, it all works, but you know, no. But it's very much would be a fun movie, and that's all I can say about it. Then after I finished reading that one, I read that one as an ebook, and this one is my next one. I'm reading The Snail on the Slope. This is a Russian book that's of course translated. I don't know Russian, and I'm like 11% into it. Listening to an audiobook. Don't love the audiobook, but I'll probably continue with it, just so it got a little better when I spit it up to a time and a half, so time and a half speed. Don't love the person reading it. So it's pretty interesting. It's weird. The characters are not super logical, and I don't think you're really supposed to know what's going on yet, but there's a forest that they all speak of, and they're, I guess, trying to kill the forest. And we've heard from, at the point where I'm at, we've heard from the people on the outside of the forest that are trying to kill the forest, and now I've just heard from one of the people that are in the forest that came from the outside and got, like, I don't know if he's trapped or what, but it seems like kind of like mind altering something is happening. So yeah, but that's my update for August 1st, and I will continue reading again tomorrow, and I hope that your reading is going well as well. All right, it's August 2nd, around 1 o'clock, and I finished another book. I finished this one, Snail on the Slope. It was so freaking weird. So the entire time I felt like I was on the edge of understanding what the metaphor was about. But like something would just like pull my interest, and I'd get, you know, the nonsense would just pull me away from understanding. But I think it was both purposeful and ultimately fitting. And it's definitely a book that you're gonna have to look up the meaning of after you're done. The entire time I was reading it, I was thinking about a video game that I watched someone play called Darkwood. So if you have already read this book or have played Darkwood, I think it would be, and you liked it, then I think that would be a good thing to look into, because it definitely had a lot of the same feel. Darkwood is a little more on the horror side, and this is horrifying, I guess, I suppose, but I enjoyed it. I think I loved it, but it was really freaking weird. I'm also going to finish Out There by Kate Folk next. This selection of short stories. I'm not loving it. Every once in a while there'll be one that I kind of like, but I will finish it. This will probably be the last I really talk about it though. But this is my August 2nd update. I'm doing decently. I've started so many books and gotten like 30% into like 3 or 4 books, and then decided to switch out. But I finished 3 so far. I have a manga that I finished, so I'm going to go ahead and read some more of them before I talk about them, just because they're so short. But my magical readathon is going very well. Or my reading during the magical readathon is going well, so I'm excited. And when I've read more, I'll update you more. Well, it's the night of August 2nd, and I'm probably gonna, this is my last update for the day, but I have my little cinnamon pastry and my decaf iced coffee for the night. And I'm gonna talk about Legends and Lattes because I finished it. It was very found family vibes, and it just got cuter and cuter as more characters showed up. It's very light on the romance, but it felt appropriate. It felt right. So, yeah. It is a very cozy fantasy, as it promised. And other than that, I've read a whole little collection of manga, all in the same one. So it's A Tropical Fish Yearns for Snow, volumes 2 through 6. I gave the first 4 or so 3 stars, and then 5 and 6 kind of dropped down to 2 stars. It got a little boring midway through the volumes, and it was pretty monotonous, I would say. And then near the end, like, all of a sudden there was angst. I mean, there was a little bit of angst throughout, but it was very much cute people doing cute things in cute ways, and then all of a sudden angst. So I probably won't read the last 3. I definitely won't do it this month with my 53 ones, but so far it's going really well. Let me see. I think that's 5, 6. I think I've read 10 books in 2 days. I think that's what I've done. Now 5 are manga, and I read those really quickly. But yeah, I'm doing it. Okay, I'm gonna go get into something else now. I've been reading pretty much nonstop with food breaks. But anyway, I'm gonna go have my snack and probably play a Sinking City video game. Yep. See you later. Okay, so August 3rd, I took a break from reading. I had read 9 books, and I was 30% done with the 10th. And I just had 43 more books to choose from, and I decided to procrastinate by reading the Quarry fanfic instead of a book. Perpetually read is not a misnomer. Anyway, now it's August 4th, and I've finished City of Orange by David Yoon. So this book is a philosophical look on a man going on a bender of grief. It's about, loss and living with what you've lost and what you still have and all that. So I gave it 3 stars. It was a little less apocalyptic than I had hoped for, and more just like living in the guy's head. So yeah, I think it was just like an expectations kind of thing where, you know, I expected one thing, got another, so I was I felt a little cheated on that. But yeah, the book had a lot of heart. I found out after the fact that it was written, like the first draft or whatever, was written during NaNoWriMo. So that was pretty cool. I wonder how many other things I've read that wound up, you know, done that way. Anyway, so directly after I finished that book, I started The Singer's Gun by Emily St. John Mandel. And I'm like an hour in. I went to Target, which I could do a little mini haul. So I got these Post-its so I can tab my books. Little rainbow. Or well, tab the one that I have to annotate. I've never done that before, so you know, I was excited to get these. And then it's not a book thing, but I got this table. Let's see how well I can show it. I got this cute little storage table, and I put my fuzzy rugs in it that I always have to move for my Roomba to go around. So I thought that was a nice addition, and it'll be nice to sit here by my reading chair. Let's see. Oh, all right. So I'm an hour into The Singer's Gun, and I'm liking it all right. It's the reading. The writing style is a lot easier, just a lot more straightforward than the very heavy metaphorical stuff I've been reading lately, like the Snail on the Slope. I love that book, Snail on the Slope. I thought about just rereading it right away, but I'm like, no, and that's how I wound up reading fanfic instead. Anyway, The Singer's Gun is like a crime mystery drama. I think it says it's a thriller, but it's not very thrilling so far. But it's going okay. Yeah. Thought I had one more thing to say in this update, but I'm not remembering it. So I guess I'm gonna get back to reading and catch up with you in a bit. Okay, another little update. I'm 52% in, and I am struggling. I had to get this off my chest. Anton is a complete idiot. He's a sanctimonious hypocrite. He's so stupid. Actually, everybody in this book is pretty stupid. They're not very logical. Anyway, that's it. Alright, I finished The Singer's Gun by Emily St. John Mandel. It seems very French. She's Canadian, the author, but it seems very French. It's very meandering, and characters show up, and they give a lot of detail about them, and then you never see them again. That's something I've seen in French lit, and it flattering. That's what it is. That's what I'm looking for. Very flattering. It's more about like the journey and the people you meet and just like aimlessly going through. It's not the style that I would prefer for a mystery kind of detective-y kind of book. Yeah. I gave it 3 stars. Final thoughts on it is it's a style of writing that I like. for speculative fiction. But I guess I'm just not a fan for it in contemporary, you know. But if you are a fan of this book, you should check out The Chalk Circle Man by Fred Vargas. She is a French author, and the work has been translated. But yeah, if you like this style where it's, you know, you get a lot of detail about the weather and individual people that may or may not have anything to do with the mystery, just kind of a romantic stroll through random people's lives, and I guess there's a little mystery by the end or something, or like a little bit of thrilling points. Anyway, yeah, check out Fred Vargas's work. You'll probably like that as well. But yeah, so that was my Thursday. I read 3 stars. Hoping for better tomorrow. I do need to remember to log my books on the Magicalreadathon spreadsheet. But I haven't done any. Yeah, I've done a couple of the quests. I've added books to those. But I'm going out of order on the class section. Like, I'm doing my Q's and D's, my qualified and distinguished before doing my ordinary. So maybe I'll choose my next book by one of the Schools of Magic's ordinary, so I can start logging my books. I don't want to forget. That would be pretty sad. I don't think I ever even said I'm in the Mindwalkers Guild. So I want us to win. Alright. I'll catch up on the 5th. Good morning. It's August 5th. And I've read 2 books already this morning. I read Chocolate Fever by Robert Kimmel Smith. First time since childhood. It's a little questionable. The author made some choices, such as having dogs come in and lick the chocolate spots, which I thought was not a great choice because it may get kids to feed their dogs chocolate, thinking that dogs like chocolate, and, you know, poison their dogs. So yeah, but it was adventurous and had some danger in it, so I guess that's what I was into as a kid. So oh well. And then the next one I read, I had to switch out my Inscription book manga prompt because Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 2 didn't come in through the library, because I'm doing most of this through library books and like on Libby, the Libby app. So I started reading. Oh, sorry, my AC just came on. I'll just make it quick. I started reading I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino. So this is about 2 college-aged men that they're going through hardships. One through financial problems, and the other through his hearing disability getting worse. And you know, their problems were mostly told in kind of a semi-lighthearted kind of way, but you still could feel the anguish that they were going through, and just really hope that they can, you know, lean on one another and the people around them to make their worlds a better place. So I gave it 4 stars. It might be more of a 3.5, but I rounded up for Goodreads. And yeah, so I'll probably read I think the next one was like something about of Happiness or something like that. The Order, something like that. Anyway, yeah, so, but with that, I have finished my inscription prompts, ordinary, qualified, and distinguished. So I just need to remember to put that on the Magical Readathon spreadsheet. I'm probably gonna read this one next, Song for the Wild Built. It's one of the few physical copies I have of a book, so I'm gonna go with this one. I think this is, grab my little paperwork right here. This one is for the artificery prompt. I think this is the AI prompt that I went with. So, A Song for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Talk to you again soon. It is August 7th, and I took Saturday off to play board games with some friends that were coming over. And this will be the last update of the week. So I've read 2 more books. I've read Shortcake Cake, which is a slice of life, high school, reverse harem trope. The characters aren't really fleshed out that well in the first volume, but the artwork is super cute, and if you're interested in modern Japanese culture, the backgrounds are amazing in this volume. So yeah, and then the other book I read was the first volume of Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon. I think this is the 2012 run of comics. The artwork wasn't as good as I expected it to be, but the storyline was pretty spot on to what I expected, and so yeah, if you like Marvel things, then you'll like this. He does get beat up a lot harder than what a self-proclaimed just normal human I think would be able to withstand, but it doesn't do a great job of like showing how long in between each beating it is, but okay. So that's the end of my reading for week 1 of the Magical Readathon. I've read 15 books so far. If I keep this pace, I will be doing good on my self-imposed 53 books in August. And yeah, so next week I am starting the week off with, I've already started these, but I'll, do a little update next. I'll start it next week. Anyway, A Song for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. I only read a couple pages in this one and then decided to read some comics. I'm a little bit farther into this one. Our Lady of the Ice by Cassandra Rose Clark. And I'm gonna start annotating this guy with my new little tabs that I bought this week. And then I'm about the same distance into A History of Wild Places. So that's what I'm starting off week 2 with. So that was my reading for August 1st through 7th. I may read some more tonight, but I'm gonna upload this video soon. So if you watched to the end, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you again next week with my next weekly vlog. I've had a lot of fun recording my little updates, and I think this is gonna be fun to look at like later, you know, when I've forgotten what all I've read in the future, kind of see where I was at in this period of time. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you again later.